Rise and shine, everybody. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Peace to you, Love Cat. Peace to you, Cynthia Crap. Peace to you, Nina. Nina says, Kevin, to answer your question, yes, she's the one she's talking about. Well, there you have it. I can turn the live off and find something to do with my day. Good name for them is loud talkers, though, because that's what they do. Just talk really loud, but be completely wrong and lying. Just yelling at the camera, yelling at the microphone. And if that's what they call content, let them have it. But I got my own version of content that I'm cooking up, and it's going to be to really bring to light what she's exposing on a nightly basis. Okay, I think that'll be some good content for my channel. I think people would really like to see a narcissist in action, and I think that I'm doing the world an injustice by dealing with this narcissist in every way but publicly. Okay, so I am going to expose Nate Amora Davis Johnson for the narcissist that she is. And it's going to be a weekly thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather the content and things that she say on a nightly basis. And then on a weekly basis, I'll present that to you guys and show you how she's exposed herself even more throughout the week. Okay, I'm no longer going to go back and forth with her. I'm going to practice stoicism and just let her have it. But there is a whole lot of great content that she's leaving on the table for people who would like to know what a narcissist is like, how they move, and really how to protect yourself from them. And honestly, the best way to do that is to ignore them. But for my case, I'm going to give her a little bit of attention, not by way of responding back and forth with her, but just to shed light on her narcissistic ways. And you'll notice that they attract more narcissists to them because a narcissist cannot spot a narcissist. They say they can, but they cannot. They cannot tell when they're looking dead right at one. It's crazy. So you have people who quick to call someone a narcissist when they're mad at them. We've seen this online. People quick to call somebody a narcissist, but when they actually see a narcissist on display, nobody recognizes it. They're actually entertained by them. You understand? And so I am going to bring a lot of light to that. Today, I won't even be before you long. I just want to show you kind of a glimpse into her narcissism, okay? There's so much content to cover. I am going to ask Am and a few others to help me out with that, as they have a whole lot more videos of her in the past. But I'm really going to look forward to just dealing with her in the present, the things that she's currently doing from this day forward. Because I'll let you guys deal with what she's done in the past. But anything that's really relevant, I will bring that to my channel and let the public know about that as well. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me go ahead and monetize this video. Hang on. Cool, and we're back. Okay, so Rise says the Queen's Quarters. Rise says Bullseye. Kevin, Rise to you, Bullseye. Creed, peace to you, peace to you. So again, I want to say this again. I am going to be covering Amora Davis Johnson. She is a black woman who's out here terrorizing the community, the world, with her narcissistic ways. She tears down people. She pins abuse on people. And these people she's never met in person. She's just downright evil. And she pretends that she has no knowledge of what she's doing. But this lady, while she tries to say other people are not leaders, she actually was a leader. From her own mouth, she said she was a captain in the military. And I just got to expose how somebody can make it that far in a government system and still be a terror to our society once they make it out. How they'll spend their later years terrorizing people that's far younger than them to try to keep them from reaching the success that they would desire to reach. One, by trying to get their attention by any means necessary, tearing them down, their families down, their children down, picking on their newborn babies, the death of their parents. There's nothing off limits with this lady. And I just want to show you guys what a terror to society really looks like, okay? Forget what she's gone through as a child. We have to deal with the person that she is today, because in life, everyone's responsible for healing themselves. Regardless of what you go through, everyone in the end, the responsibility is on you, on what your character is, right? Thank you, Bullseye says, disclaimer, under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. You guys are going to see it delivered in the right way. I have no intention of lying on her, even exaggerating on her. What she does is actually just enough. But it's going to start off really slow. I'm just going to give you guys a really good glimpse of it. Last night she did an interview. She did a video where she was questioning if I had cult traits, cult tendencies, and she was measuring me against Nature Boy, who you know was in prison for the things that he has done, and Jim Jones, who I believe actually committed a group unaliving, of themselves, suicide, if you know what I mean, right? And she's comparing me to these guys to see if we have the same tendencies. This is a government tactic, actually. It's crazy how she uses the colonizers or the government tactics to try and hurt civilians and what they're doing. And the only reason she's attaching herself to me is honestly because of Brianna. I don't care whether Brianna's telling her to do it. I don't care, honestly. The fact is she's a narcissist, and I'm going to expose her for who she is, okay? Good morning to you. I am Miss Bell. Marcy. Marcy is not in disguise at all, and it is very loud with his hate and evil ways. It's very clear that he is a spawn of Satan. Absolutely. And by he, she means Amora. Okay, guys, just so you guys know, she's talking about Nasty Nate. All right. Joanne, peace to you. Peace to you. And I will be teaching on the traits of a narcissist as well, so you can see them measured against her, so you can know that I have no way of lying. I have no reason to lie on her, because who cares if she's a narcissist, frankly. Narcissists do not deserve to be condemned or beaten up or cyberbullied, but because they have traits that they really can't control. But I'm making you guys known so you can understand how to spot one when you see one. So this is not a tear down session at all, but every time she lies, I'm going to come forth and show you guys how she lies, and what her intention of actually is in lying. Okay. So many of you know that she came out a couple of years ago, so-called trying to defend Brianna, but it was all distracting from everyone else giving insight on Brianna's actions. Okay. So she would talk about the content creators, their parents. She would dox their addresses, pull up their criminal reports, all these different things, because she didn't want anyone talking about Brianna. She's ruined this girl's brand, and she's still going, and she doesn't care that she's ruined this lady's brand. She continues to make this lady's brand look bad with the way she carries herself online. She tries to throw out that my brother wish he had someone like her, but woe be it to him if he had someone like her defending him, because once she's moved on from you, her actions after that would make anybody say, okay, if Brianna hired you, if Brianna is associated with you, she can't be a good person. Do you understand? This lady talks about people's children and calls them window lickers. Do you understand? She shows children scars and questions if they had the actual procedure that their parents said they had, just so she can torment the parents. Do you understand? She has no boundaries at all. She will exploit your boundaries and all this stuff just for a quick buck on social media. Not to mention the things she does to people's relationships, questioning their relationships when she doesn't prove and set an example with her own personal relationship. You don't see her and Jay go out and show me how to treat my wives, or even one of them. They don't display this at all. And if she hasn't saw something, she just assumes that it's true. I heard her say last night, I've never been out of the country. Frankly, in the earlier parts of my life, guys, I did tours over into Cuba. I did missionary work into Cuba that is actually outside of the country. Okay. Hadn't done it in many years, which is why I had to get another passport. But she gets to say out loud he's never left the country. But even if I had not left the country, I can know more about countries by looking them up and researching them. She said, I watched TV and came up with these things to tell people. She just yells these things out. And she does talk loud when she does it. So she says a loud talker. She has a huge mouth that just won't shut up. But regardless of what's coming out of it, the mouth belongs to a narcissist. Do you understand? So last night she did this, she created this, let me load it up real quick so you guys can see it. She created this chart that measures me and two other guys, Nature Boy and Jim Jones. And she takes what I said before moving to Medellin, and she takes what Jim Jones says about his cult and what Nature Boy said about what he was creating, and she puts them together to see if we are similar. Okay, I want to show you guys how manipulative she is by simply showing you what ChatGPT has to say about it without anybody's contribution. And you guys can try this for yourself if you have ChatGPT. Let me show you guys something. Now I'm going to post that on my community board post so I can try and share it here. Hopefully it's easy enough to do. Let me see. Okay, well, it's here, but I don't know if it shows good enough. Let me see here. I wish it did, but let's see if it shows decently enough to post here. It's going to be really small. You're not going to be able to see it that well, but this right here is a chart where she put together things I said versus what Nature Boy said versus Jim Jones, okay? But and because it's not showing well, I'm going to get on with it, okay? So let me take this down. Let's see here. And going forward, these will be much better. I'm going to actually put this content together better, so it could be something that's better presented to you guys. All right, but 1 second. Okay, if you notice here, and I want you guys to see how quickly this is debunked, okay? She'll do a whole live and get cash apps and things of this nature to fund whatever she's doing. But she'll criticize others for doing the same or whatever the case may be. Let's watch this. So I took this chart that she had, right? I simply posted it into ChatGPT and said, which man sounds the most trustworthy or unlike a cult? Do you understand? So I just posted what she put into ChatGPT and I asked it that, right? And so let me hit play. So talks about legacy. Okay, so actually you can see the chart she puts in: sales, relocation to salvation, preaches obedience criteria, reinvents the family structure, shuts down outside influences, talks about legacy and healing, financial funnel disguised as purpose. This is her list, right? And she's taking things that we each said in those subcategories, right? So I put this in the ChatGPT. And so here's what it says. The most trustworthy is in the far left column, which is me, family. We're building what was never built for us, a true legacy. But first, we got to heal. Now, anyone would know that any person that's going to set out to try and create something better, they would have to recognize issues with their current world. This is always going to be the case, okay? So to say that that means you're going to be a cult is just absolutely ludicrous, okay? But what does that statement actually speak to? It says this speaks to legacy without accountability. I mean, legacy with accountability. First, we got to heal. So if we're going to leave an area, a place where we feel like the issues are not good for us, then it's important that you don't bring that place with you. Okay, so the ways of that place, leave them there. And to do that, you got to heal. So this speaks to legacy with accountability, no fantasy, just restoration. That's what a good shepherd does. He binds the wounds before building the tribe. Okay, join tier one, which is on my membership program for people who want to watch this as like a reality show type deal. So it says donate to the cause, buy my books, pay for coaching, come to the meetings. This is upfront and honest about financial structure. It's a business pitch, not a messiah complex. He's not pretending money doesn't matter. Okay. Anytime you're going to start something, guys, you're going to need funding. To pretend that money grows on trees is absolutely ludicrous, right? This is any organization that you see out here, the best ones that you could even name to help people ask for money. Roach Kelly himself even got out here and asked for money to feed people or to help people with tents, right? So we all know that money is required to do a deed. We understand this, all right? It says we're leaving Georgia for better health care, cheaper land, a better life. Inbox me. Sounds like a practical move, it says. Not a spiritual exodus. This man is selling relocation, not salvation. Okay? Now, the next one says there's a criteria. We'll go over it in private. Everyone has to be aligned. While still a bit authoritarian, it's not laced with spiritual manipulation. It says we'll talk privately, not you'll burn if you question me. Why do I want to talk privately? Because I know that people will skew my words into whatever they want them to be and try to paint me as something that I'm not. That's why I'd rather talk with people who are very serious about this privately. Okay. I understand that there's people watching me so they can manipulate any and everything that I do or say. Do you understand? Let's continue. I also said modern families as we know it are broken homes. We're going to restore true community and real family values. Reforming family is admirable. He doesn't claim to be a god or demand to be called dad. That humility matters. Now, of course, Nature Boy called himself a god, and Jim Jones told his tribe to call him dad. I've done neither of those things, okay? We can't bring false teachings, old wounds, or bad habits onto new soil. It's a boundary. It's not isolation. He's guarding the gate, not locking it, okay? If our issues is with the way we think, and the way we act is based on the way we think, then that's where the issues lie. And this is why I tell people to be the change you want to see. If everyone went and worked on themselves, the world that we know would be fixed already anyway. But because we recognize people are not going to do that in our lifetime, it's better for people who already recognize what they want their life to look like, what they want their family struggles to look like, to just go live together and create that together. It makes sense to me, okay? This man sounds like a reformer, a leader, not a lord, a protector, not a puppeteer. Now, this is ChatGPT choosing me out of both of those to say I sound the least like a cult leader or the most trustworthy, okay? The middle and right columns, the red flags, like a matador's parade, okay? It says, these columns get darker. We're gods, healing generational trauma. Only the loyal remain. Call me dad. We cut off the outside world. Only we are awake. This is Jim Jones and Nature Boy, okay? These phases mirror cult grooming tactics. Shut off, dissent, inflating the leader's divinity, demonizing others and promoting utopias without critique. Now, this is the other two, and she's trying to put me in a box with those two. But the reason she's doing that is not because she believes in that, okay? Here's the issue with the narcissist, family, okay? I saw a video that shows what it's like dealing with a narcissist. And it was a person trying to swim to get out of water. And it was another person pulling them down as they was trying to get out of water so they could breathe. Another person was pulling them down. The person pulling them down is, of course, the narcissist. And if you've ever dealt with a narcissist, you know that when you try to go cold on them, no contact on them, they will do whatever they can to get your attention because a narcissist loves your attention. And if you notice, Nate or Amora Davis Johnson, this cadet who was in the military, would do anything she can to get your attention. And the longer you don't give it to her, the more disrespectful, the more diabolical, and the lower that she will go. So if you don't give her your attention first off, the next live is going to be talking about someone else, not you, but someone that you love, okay, to make you respond. She'll blatantly lie on you just so you will correct it and that will give her attention. That gives her more content to come out here and do again. And she's only doing this for content. She'll ruin your life so she can have something to talk about. It's unreal. And then whenever you get back on her case, she'll flip it and play the victim. Okay? She'll flag your videos, try to have them taken down. If you insult her like she's insulting you, she'll try to group everyone else in. Look, he said we all have nappy hair. He said we was all slaves. He said we was all like Harriet Tubman. If you call her name back, it's going to be flipped. Okay? But when she's talking about a child who has a condition, she's only talking about that child. No one recognizes that she's talking about every child with a condition when she calls them window lickers and all the different things that she does. Do you understand? But the reason that she lies so aggressively is simply to get the person that she's talking about attention. Notice when she covers other people that's never responded to her, that doesn't know who she is, she doesn't do this with the same type of derogatory behavior. But she tends to go lower with people who she feels like hears her, because if they respond, it makes her excited. It makes her come on herself. She actually get turned on when someone mentions her name back. You could see it. If my brother ever shows up in her live, she's going to be on live for another 8 hours now, simply because he commented. Do you understand? And she just goes low, low, low. You understand? That's just how she goes. And so if you ever try to go no contact with a narcissist, know they're going to pull out all stops to get your attention. Do you understand? Callie does the same thing. I heard him today talking about how I'm exposing myself because I got his family on my community board. If you scroll this dude's wall, he actually has my wife, who's a black woman that he's trying to bully, a black woman, okay, a black mother that he's trying to bully with her son's condition. He has a post up there where it says, and I'll show it to you shortly. The shit really should be reported. I don't know how YouTube allows it to stay, but it has a post up there where it says that Down syndrome can come from the mother, right? And then he has a picture of Lacey up there saying that I'm sleeping with pretty much slow women. And so he's trying to call Lacey slow and blame her for some mixed condition. Again, he goes very, very low. But if I put a picture of his brother in a casket up here with his mama crying like a baby and say, you know, look at this shit, it's funny, right? Or his dead brother, or whatever the case may be, I'm an asshole. But that would be me picking at his wounds. But if I did that, I'm an asshole. And he'll get on camera and say, look how low he's going. Look at how low he's going. If I put him up here seeking attention, if I get up here and talk about my life, right, and how I've been affected by losing certain people, he'll say I'm seeking sympathy. But if he gets up here and types a whole letter to his brother who isn't even alive to read it, he's not seeking attention, right? He's just being an emotional human being. That's what I'm being as well. But he likes to come out here and go low. And that's what narcissists do. They do anything for your attention. Do you understand? And they often do this because you've made them feel bad about themselves by comparison. Or they've had an encounter with you where you said something to hurt their little feelings and they just can't get over stuff. You understand? So back to what I was saying here. These phrases, mirror grooming tactics. This is Jim Jones and Nature Boy. Okay, these phrases, mirror grooming tactics, shutting off dissent, inflating the leader's divinity, demonizing others, and promoting utopias without critique. For such men are false prophets, deceitful workmen, disguising themselves as apostles of Christ. 2 Corinthians 11 and 13. Even the serpent in Eden offered a better version of life with just one bite. Okay, but it came at the cost of exile. So final word. Who's the most trustworthy? It says the man in the first column. He may have strong views and structure, but he's not claiming divinity. He's not isolating people, and he's not preaching fear. He's building something, but he's still grounded in the real world. As the Bhagavad Gita says, a person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled, but is always still, can alone achieve peace. Okay, now watch this. Still waters run deep, but still waters won't claim to be the oceans. Be wary of those who do. So Jim Jones claiming to be dad, Nature Boy claiming to be God. These things expose the fact that they are cult. They have cult-like behavior. So I said this, and I said a podcast is looking at all three of these men. Okay, didn't quite know how I wanted to type it, so I'm taking my time. These men's teachings. To see if they are similar as far as cult behavior. Can you add Jesus to the list Tell me if Jesus was different from them. If not, who's the closest to Jesus? Also, if they are all similar, if they're all similar to Jesus, would that mean that Jesus had cult tendencies? Okay, let's listen. It's a powerful question, Brother Kevin. Let's sharpen our spiritual lens and examine these men in column 1, 2, and 3 alongside Jesus of Nazareth, not through the blind belief, but through fruit inspection. The scripture says, "You should know a tree by their fruits." Matthew 7:16. So let's lay them side by side like 4 trees in a field and see whose roots draw from truth and who bears thorns under leaves. Okay? Categories of analysis. We'll judge based on the following: message of legacy or healing, money or donations, relocation and salvation, obedience and criteria, family reinvention, isolation from outside influences, claims to be divinity or exclusivity. Jesus of Nazareth, based on the gospel accounts, legacy and healing. He said, "I came to heal." Amor said, if they say anything about healing, then they're cult-like behavior. Jesus said, "I came to heal the brokenhearted." Luke 4:18. Spoke often about generational transformation, encouraged spiritual legacy over bloodline. Money and donations. Jesus said, "Give to Caesar's what is Caesar's," Mark 12:17. He accepted offerings, Luke 8:3, but did not sell healings or rank his followers based on their payment tiers. Now, he also flipped over tables in temples. "You've turned my father's house into a den of thieves." So he did not like people misusing the funds. Relocation as salvation. No evidence of promising a better land on earth. However, he did promise his kingdom was that of in heaven, that you will see one day, and he was going to build that kingdom. And the only way to reach that kingdom was to follow his teachings. Okay. "My kingdom is not of this world." John 18:36. Okay. Obedience and criteria. "If you love me, then keep my commandments." So he also had boundaries, which are rules. Okay. John 14:15. "I said there will be rules, sort of like an HOA." She goes, "He don't know what an HOA is." Again, talking loud for the sake of talking loud. Okay, when I say that there will be rules, it means that you can't come here and act any old way, because the whole problem is how people behave that do not have this way of thinking. So it's going to be structured, and if you're going to come here, it's going to be a certain way. Do you understand? Now, every house will have its own greenhouse. No house will be oversized, because everything's about nature, giving back, legacy, growing, and surviving together. So of course there will be rules, as in like an HOA. So because if I buy a bunch of land and I let you guys get lots off the land, you can't go buy up half the land and put your big whole house on it because it's cheaper. Do you understand? No, everybody's building what they need. Every house will have a greenhouse, planting and growing. And if you don't plant and grow, then you'll contribute to the people that do, right? But whatever the case may be, she tries to make that seem like it's something that it's not. And she does this because she wants the people that don't like me to be entertained. Do you understand? So because she came out defending Brianna, a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth for anybody that Brianna was against or spoke against Brianna. So what she does is she weaponizes that. She exploits that. She exploits their hate for us by speaking negatively about us on a daily basis. Okay. Toya used to be a part of that until recently. Okay. She still talks about me and my brother. But anyway, if you love me, keep my commandments. Invited obedience, but didn't force it. Allowed Judas to betray him, Peter to deny him, and Thomas to doubt without banishment. Now, family reinvention. Who is my mother and brothers? Those who do the will of God. So Jesus honored who was in his mission more than he did his actual brothers and sisters. Okay. He encouraged spiritual family, but did not marry nor call women his wives. Shutting out outside influences, be in the world, not of the world. So this is definitely saying shut out outside influences. He did not isolate people. He sent them into the world. Go make disciples of all nations. Claim to defend divinity. I mean, he even once said, let the dead bury the dead, meaning don't even mourn your dead. If you're going to be about God's business, come with me right now. Sell everything and come with me now. And this is what Jesus told people, okay? But claim to divinity. He called himself the Son of Man, the way, the truth, and the life, and claimed oneness with the Father. He accepted worship, and this is a major theological difference. Conclusion, are they similar? Says yes in form and style. Some similarities exist. Talks healing, column 1 and column 2. Accepts money and is transparent. Column 1 is spiritualized is column 2. And I don't see column 3. Maybe it's going to be below. Let me check my actual one to see if it's something cut off, because it shouldn't be. And I'm going quickly because I want to come back and really bring this to life for y'all. So hopefully you guys can grasp what I'm showing you. Hang on, I'm trying to look at my actual one. Okay, so yeah, it is some cut off. This is the actual thing that you can slide over. So column 1, transparent. Column 2, spiritualized when it comes to accepts money. So talks healing, all 3, all 4. I do it. I talked about healing. Jim Jones talked about healing. Nature Boy talked about healing, and Jesus talks about healing. Accepts money. It says that 1 does, which is me, transparent. Column 2 does, which is spiritualized. Column 3, which is Nature Boy, very vague. And Jesus, yes, but never demanded it. Okay, relocation and salvation. It says that I do not talk about relocation equals salvation, but it says that Jim Jones does. It says that Nature Boy does, and Jesus doesn't. So Jesus and I are alike in that area. We do not talk about relocation equaling salvation. Obedience demanded. Structured. Kevin has structured. It says that Jim Jones was strict. It says that Nature Boy was extreme, and it says that Jesus was voluntarily. It says that reinvents family. It has a what's the name right here for me? I think I don't know what that means here, but it has a check mark for column 2, column 3, and on column 2. So I guess it's saying I don't reinvent the family. As I think Jesus was saying something like, he valued people who was in his mission even over his actual brothers and sisters. I'm actually talking about taking the family structure and making it more communal. So I guess that's why it's saying that I don't do that. I'm not reinventing the family structure. I'm just trying to make it more complete. But anyway, isolates followers. It says, no, I do not isolate followers. Jim Jones has a exclamation point on his, and column 3 has a check mark, and Jesus has the same thing mine has on it, which is that stop sign type of thing. Claims divinity. Absolutely not. I don't. Jim Jones, it was a caution sign, I guess. And column 3, check mark. Jesus, check mark. Does claim divinity. So let's go on here down. Who's the closest to Jesus? Column 1 is the closest to Jesus. Let's see why. Let's get to it. Column 1 is the closest to Jesus. Column is the closest. His structures resembles an earthly version of Jesus's community building, healing, and discipline without a divine claim or spiritual manipulation. Column 2 and 3 lead toward cult behavior with claims of paradise, extreme obedience, cutting family ties, and self-elevation. Did Jesus exhibit cult-like tendencies? That depends on how you define cult. If cult means charismatic leader, small, devoted following, radical teachings, claiming special truth, then yes, by today's standards, Jesus would appear cult-like. But if cult means controlling, isolating, abusive, manipulative, Jesus did not fit that mold. He invited, never coerced. He healed, never harmed. He washed feet, never demanded worship through fear. As the Quran says, there is no compulsion in religion. Truth stands out clear from error. Surah 2:256. So the final insight, a wolf wears sheep's clothing, but the shepherd sleeps in the field with his flock. Jesus laid down his life for his people. Column 1 builds community with his people. Column 2 and 3 use people to build the leader. That's the difference. Now, the thing about this is, this lady knows good and well that I'm not cultish. She knows that, but she knows it'll be content if she says I am. So she's only exploiting me for the viewers. And so it's really all of them. I can't blame her. Like I said, these people are a collective of the majority. That's how they rise to what you would call power or leadership or have a platform, because many other people think the same way they do. Okay. Doesn't mean the person is powerful. It just means that they think a lot like the people who follow them, and therefore they'll have someone listening. That's all it means, guys. And so Upper was just saying some things earlier about people's rights to blog and say what they want. And if they're lying on you, it's a civil issue. And all these things are absolutely true. I know that because I've tried to do what I could do to keep these people from trying to ruin my name, ruin my legacy, ruin my reputation. But I have to follow protocol. I'll pursue Nate in a legal way so she stops lying on me. I'll do the same with Kalini, okay, with Callie. I'll do the same with Roach Callie as well, so they stop lying on me. But as far as trying to stop them online, no, I'll let them do their thing. They can talk and get the attention that they want, because I recognize that everybody knows they're lying anyway. It's simply entertainment. You understand at this point? I think I've done enough to show that them and all of their constituents, as Break Room likes to say, are all joined together with the intent to tear your name down. They don't do good blogging. There is no research in it at all. You understand? And I'll give you another example of that too. I want you guys to see something, just how they play victim whenever you're on them. Okay, hang on. So here's another narcissist that exposes himself on a daily basis. And after that, I'm actually done with this live. Yesterday, I kicked Callie ass so bad, it ain't no need. It ain't no need going in double time again. But I want you guys to see something here.
He is.
Make sure you guys can see the screen. You can. Now I want you to watch how. Hang on, I messed up something. I don't like that. I thought this did. Let's see. All right, guys, check this out. I want you to listen to this guy rant, and I want you guys to see exactly what he's done while he sits here and tries to play the victim. Listen at this, guys.
Now, he is being exposed so bad, he's going to every length to try to tear me down or do whatever he wants to do. I mean, he's got my family up on him.
So he says I'm going through every length to try to tear him down, right? So if I'm going through every length to try to tear him down, what is he doing? Because I think what I'm doing is just responding to him with a mirror. I think I'm just going to do exactly to him what he's done to me, okay? So that it's just that simple. You understand? But I want you to see his page and his community board wall and see exactly while he's talking. Look at the shit he posts while he's sitting here acting like I'm doing him the dirtiest, right? Just watch this, guys. It's unbelievable.
Now, he is being exposed so bad, he's going to every length to try to tear me down or do whatever he wants to do. I mean, he's got my family up on his board. He's making up lies. I mean, he's just, I mean,
he has my mother right here on his page, right? So I think his mother belongs on my page. I think his dead brother belongs on my page because he has my dead mother on his page, right? He's mocking how she died, cancer, me defeating cancer, everything I went through surrounding her death. He doesn't think any of these issues are sensitive until you put his issues up there. You understand?
But I'm not mad about that because I want y'all to see who he really is.
So if I do it back to him, it's who I really am. But then who is he then? If I'm doing back to him what he's doing to me, and that means that's who I really am, then who was he? Let's continue though.
Go to his community board. and see who he really
So
is.
are we seeing who he really is by his community board family? Let's check this out.
This is a guy that told y'all he was a life.
This is a guy that tells y'all he's a chief, that he's a leader of men, that he wakes up the community by showing black people who they really are indigenously. But his community board post and his actual whole channel is aimed at ruining another man's reputation rather than leading his people to knowledge of themselves. Do you understand? Let's continue.
Aaron!
And now listen to how he yells at someone else's child, okay? Because for whatever reason, he just can't stay focused, right? He could have muted this and did all of this, but you know, that's just how he does.
Aaron! Take him off of that thing. Take him off of that.
Here he is bullying a black woman right here, a black mother. Now, if I go off on a woman who's bothering me, they'll say, you doing this to black women, right? Lacey doesn't bother him, but he has her up on his board calling out her name. Do you understand? Bullying her. Now, she don't pay attention to him. She doesn't even know he does all this stuff, but here it is.
The door. Stop doing that, man. Like, just take him out. If you're going to let him in, just let him in.
Here he called Mika several bitches, but he says that Kevin calls women bitches, but he does this on a daily basis. Right here, they said a bitch on probation is trying to threaten me. So he calls women bitches. Now, he's actually one of Amora's closest friends, and she doesn't call him on any of this. Yet she focuses her attention on someone who responds to people in this way. Callie does this to bother people who have never said nothing to him. Now, right here, this he should actually lose his channel for, because he's trying to he's trying to bully a black woman about her own child, which has nothing to do with him for that matter. But he's doing all of this to try to get at me. But he says I'm pulling out all stops to disrespect him, right?
Up on the door and then y'all leave him. Like, why? Just let him in the house.
So basically it says, so what are you trying to tell me? This person who sent me this, nobody sends him this stuff, y'all. Callie watches every little thing I do. You can tell. So he says, this peacock man is out here preying on the opposite of fast women. Boy, Lacey is way smarter than you. Way smarter than you, bro, in every fucking way. I can guarantee you it ain't nothing that you know that she don't. You understand? You don't express yourself the same way. You're not as articulate. You don't come close, bro. So, you know, but again, every person out there who has a child with a similar syndrome or trait, he's blaming it on the mother. Do you understand? And so, again, to blame it on either parent is literally abuse. It makes no sense. And I don't even see how people get to walk around long like this.
I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry about
and notice this is long before I put his family on my community board. Here he is again, bullying a black woman who's done nothing to him. But if I say something about Angie, oh, you talked about my family.
This comment right
about my family, a woman who he's never even married. He's never even married her. So if he says, well, you ain't married to Lacey, he's not married to Angie. I have a child with Lacey. He don't have any child with Angie, though.
Here. This comment right here is exactly why we can't.
And so anybody else who talks negatively on me, he shares it on his community board. And here he is again, right here with copying, trying to screenshot something Lacey posts on her platform about her not teaching something any longer. And he likes to act like he bullied her into doing this. She sees nothing that he does. But if he were to have bullied her to do this, he would celebrate this. Kind of like he bullied his ex-girlfriend. And then when she hit him, he beat her to a pulp. So he loves to bully black women, y'all, for no damn reason at all.
Can't take our foot.
But, you know, Lacey ain't special, of course, because he did this to his own girlfriend, a woman who lived inside of his house. He did this to her.
Off of this guy's neck because she's saying, I have to learn more about Nature Boy. She knows about Kevin. Well, who's Nature Boy? Well, Nature Boy is Kevin.
His whole look, there's my family on his community board. So he's like, he got my family on his community board. Now he has my son up here mocking his girlfriend, as you can see.
This is why we wouldn't take our foot off his neck. This had nothing to do with
his cousin, who he called Chocolate, who should be highly offended because he's attracted to his own damn cousin. He called him
over
Chocolate
here from the saga.
But again,
now you're understanding why people like myself, Neo X, at the time Queen Strong, before she flipped over to him, you know, or whatever.
She didn't flip over to me. She just recognized that y'all was full of shit and said she wasn't blogging on anything that's full of shit. You see, that's the thing. He doesn't care about people's platforms, y'all. He knows that Queen's Throne took her platform very seriously. Do you understand? He knew that Queen's Throne took her platform very seriously. But he went to her with lies and propaganda. And she believed him because she considered him a friend. She was connected to Neo, who she considered a friend. And then when she realized that they was just both lying out their asses, she said, I'm not doing that shit anymore. And she went public and apologized to me and called them both frauds. And to this day, they're mad at her too, because she wouldn't carry out his agenda. That's why he hates what's her name? I'll think of it in a minute. There's another lady who he talks about all the time, who he tried to get her to bash me and my platform for him. And when she didn't do it, he went on a tear now talking junk about her. He even threatened to shoot up her organization. Do you understand it? And then flips it and says that's what she did. Whatever he does to you, that's what you're doing to him. Do you understand? Absolutely manipulation, guys. Absolutely. But he talks so confidently, like I'm bothering him and he's not bothering me, right?
People like us who wouldn't stop.
Now, me moving to Colombia has to be something that he's talking about.
The reason why I made that Surviving Kevin Wesley playlist on my channel.
The reason he did a Surviving Kevin Wesley playlist is to try to ruin my reputation and get clout off of it. It's all lies and he knows it. Let's continue.
Because I want y'all to go back and see how once Brother Polite got locked up behind sexual assault with the 14-year-old girl, they tried to usher Kevin Wesley in to the conscious community as the new Brother Polite. But it was people like...
Now, again, lie after lie. Sinetta simply asked me to do an interview on his channel. If you go to Sinetta's channel, you'll see maybe once or twice a year, I would do a simple interview on his page. That's it. I wasn't trying to connect myself to him. He wasn't trying to make me his new cash cow. These are things that they say so they can get attention. Do you understand that? It's simply put, they do this so they can get attention. And I looked at Callie's old Facebook page of him saying that he had this brother who played basketball. He always told him to stay on his purpose. And then when Callie got shot for touching a minor and he left town, he saw the guy's face on the news that he got shot in the head by the cops on the damn court at the courthouse. And he said he felt very bad for the guy and felt like if he had been in the guy's life, still this wouldn't have happened. But Callie is displaying exactly that even if that guy had been in his life, Callie wouldn't be good to lead anybody, because look at what Chief Callie spends his time doing. Bullying women, bullying every person that he can that he thinks is associated with me. He got my son up on his page, all this stuff. That's what he does. And if you do it back to him, it's, oh, woe is me. When.
Who called it out early, and said,
D-Ham, who's a friend of mine, he puts him all over his page just because he's a friend of mine. If D-Ham and I would have fallen out, he wouldn't speak on D-Ham no more. He'd actually talk highly of D-Ham. He'd say, see, D-Ham got away from you too because of some shit you was doing. And whatever D-Ham said about me would be true because that's how it goes. And Nate's the same way. Anything anybody says about me is true. If it's as long as it's negative, it is.
To bring him in, they need a new cash cow over there in that conscious community. They're trying to ease him in as the new Brother Polite.
This is how he and Amor's platforms are very similar. They just say things that they think people would be shocked at hearing, shock value type of things, and that becomes their content.
He's got 7 years to do for.
Here he is talking about someone's teeth, but have you seen this nigga teeth?
And a young girl. Now, I just want to show y'all how low vibrational this guy is.
Yeah, but look at his teeth, though.
Kevin Wesley, before we get into this, this is when I was trying to tell y'all, if this guy is so high vibrational, and if we're telling you and we're showing evidence that Nature Boy, Dr. Umar, Dr. York, all of the Rashad Jamal, yeah, listen to these people's names. They all came through the Sinetta platform, and this is how many of us know them. Why would Kevin Wesley even want to attach himself?
Look, why stop supporting my brothers? Ain't this some bullshit?
To a platform that has a history of harming children, or they have been convicted of harming children.
Now,
Dr. York.
See if I can show you something else real quick. One second. 1 second. All right, let me show you this one real quick, and then I'm gonna end this live. I just want you guys to see this. While that's loading, check this out. Number one, I want you guys to check out how sassy he is while he tries to project that other people are sassy. Watch this.
I heard a part. Somebody was playing a part to me.
Nobody played a part. He watched the whole live. Probably watched it 2 or 3 times.
Not too long ago, and he was like, "Well, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know."
Watch how sassy he is. Watch this, y'all.
Know what their situation is. You sure don't, nigga. Huh? You sure don't. You sure don't. You sure don't.
That is some of the sassiest shit I've seen in a very long time.
Like,
now, watch this. Remember when I was so upset because Amora was talking about my son that I told her to die, right? They won't leave that alone to this day. You understand? Now, watch this guy, though. I Am Chosen says, Kevin, would you say it's typical that if a person says and does, but accuse you of the exact same thing, when you're actually not doing or saying as accused? Is this a narcissist trait or just an effing liar? No, it's a narcissistic trait. It's clearly a narcissistic trait, I promise you. And I'm going to show you guys that in later videos, okay? Trust me, I'm gonna have it set up real nice, okay? So this is just a pre type thing. But when I told Amora to die, they went crazy over it, right? But nobody's mentioned him telling me to die. Watch this. And yes, I was mad when I said it. So obviously he got to be mad right now. So this says many men wish death, and it auto-corrected me and put soon, but it's supposed to be upon me. And I know I spelled many men incorrectly because I meant little men, okay? So these little small men wish death upon me, okay? But watch this.
You're a whole different type. Like, just fucking die. Yeah, die, nigga. Like, just fucking die. Hurry up, nigga. Like, hurry up and die. Is how I feel about a piece of shit like you. Just die. I don't. Just
watch this. Look, and I want you guys to see something.
I don't see it, and I want y'all to.
I'll let you guys finish this out, but I want you to see something too.
Understand when you see these niggas trying to strike y'all pages and shit.
Now he's talking about Nate.
That's revenge. They're looking for revenge. They want revenge. Revenge. No. These niggas stay like they be over there plotting for revenge. That's because they're losers.
So let this serve as proof that he's obsessed with me. I'm all the way over here in Medellin, and he's over here wishing DEATH on me, right? Wishing unaliving on me. Come on, bruh. Completely obsessed. And you know you're talking about Nate, right? She's the one who be going around striking people, so I guess she wants revenge because she's a loser. See, you talk too fucking much. Let's look this real bad. I want you guys to pay attention to his eye right here. When he looks to the right, that eye goes way far off. And this is because he has nerve damage from all the drugs that he has done, okay? It shows on your face, and it's clear that that's what it is. Just watch this.
Like, you're a whole type.
That's why he's up there today with glasses on. He wants to hide it.
You're a whole different type. Like, just fucking die.
You see that eye?
Yeah, die.
Watch.
Like,
see the eye?
Just fucking die.
You see that? You can't make this stuff up. Anytime he looks to the right, this one goes too far because he has nerve damage, okay? It even could give you cerebral palsy when you got that same type of nerve damage, okay? And doing excessive amounts of ecstasy and overdosing on it causes seizures, cerebral palsy, all these types of things.
Hurry up.
Or Bell's palsy.
Hurry up. Hurry up, nigga.
See it? There you see it really well. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that? Look at that shit. So it's important to recognize this is drugs, guys. He's on drugs. And this is why his brain is locked on me. He can't move past it because he has an addiction. For whatever reason, thoughts on me create serotonin in his brain, dopamine in his brain. I'm like a drug to him. Okay. And even though he does drugs, he uses me also to help him get a fix. It gives him attention. He has a crowd who likes to hear him speak negatively on me. He's actually built whole friendships based on his hate for me. His whole life is circled around me. It's sad. And he hadn't saw me in many, many years. But if I respond to him, I'm the one that's obsessed. Do you see how that works? He posted my home a while back, and then when I finally posted his apartment complex, he's like, "Why did you do that? Like, you trying to? No, what was you trying to do? You're crashing out," he says. Well, what was you doing? So they hate when you show them them. They hate when you become them, and when you become them, they say this is who you truly are. Nope, nah. If you keep slapping me and I slap you back, you can't say that's who I am. I'm slapping you because you slapped me. Now, what you do is you do this shit to people who not bothering you. Like you got Lacey up on your board who's a black mother, but nobody tells him that he's bothering black women. Not even Nate tells him this. Not even Amora. The captain in the military, it says it's okay for Callie to bully black women. But if I respond to a black woman with the same energy she's giving me, then I'm bullying a black woman. You understand? And this is narcissistic behavior. They're biased. They're never going to be correct across the board because they actually don't see wrong in anybody that they're friends with. I hope you guys can understand this, okay? It's the same reason that Break Room can be upset that someone says she couldn't have a child, and then she can criticize someone for a child that she can't even have. But if you were to talk about her not having a child, all of a sudden you would be wrong. But she can talk about your child that you actually have. Do you understand what I'm saying? It makes no sense that these people behave this way. And if you find yourself living with a narcissist, they will drive you crazy. They will absolutely drive you crazy because nothing makes sense, yo. So you have to just leave them. You have to leave them because dealing with them, it makes you a worse person. Do you guys understand? It makes you a worse person even by dealing with them. Now, let me see if I can show you guys this. All right. I lost my connection for a minute, but I'm back. Let me see if I can show you guys this real quick.
No, her, yes, more. Her, yeah. I'm gonna die. Yeah,
So watch this real quick. And then I'm out. Watch this really quickly.
This is who Kevin Wesley wanted to. He wanted to defend Brother Polite.
Another lie.
He's in prison right now for violating a 14-year-old girl. You want to know why a guy like Kevin Wesley would protect somebody like that? Because he himself has accusations of violating or being inappropriate. I'm gonna say being inappropriate with a 14-year-old little girl who he.
Now he says I have these accusations, right? Guess where these accusations came from, y'all? Guess where the accusations of me tickling a 14-year-old little girl came from? I show you already ahead of me there. Him. He's the one who made this accusation. Okay. And he says, I heard it from someone who was already dead before they could ever tell him this. And then when he found out that she was dead and he couldn't blame it on her, he started blaming it on someone else who has never came forth to say this happened. And then he says that Royce validated that a 14-year-old little girl existed. No, she did not. Okay. Like I told them, there was no girl that was 14 that was ever over Dwight's house. The youngest girl that was ever there when I was there was around 17 or 18. And yet still, I've never tickled her. And I know who this little girl is, so-called, that they're talking about. And the girl is like 21 or 22 now, which would prove my point. But again, he says that I just say things with no evidence. Actually, that's what he does. Watch what he says next, guys. It's literally mind-blowing.
Told us didn't even exist, just for us to find out that she does exist. This is why he wants to project onto me that I'm a child harmer with no evidence.
Now, did I project this onto him, guys? Or did his brother-in-law come forth with this? So there's no person that is out here saying I tickled a little girl other than Callie. Callie's saying he heard it from somebody who was dead before it was possible for him to even hear it from them. So he said he heard it a year after he and I fell out. This lady died before he and I fell out. When he found that out, he said, oh, I had the wrong person. And then the person that he names, he changes up. He won't say it. So he just says stuff. Okay. But the person who's accusing him, I'm not accusing him of touching a little girl and getting shot over it. His actual brother-in-law is. So when he says, I just say stuff, I don't just say stuff. I allowed his brother-in-law to say the stuff. So I didn't say it. I knew nothing of it. His brother-in-law knows everything about it. Now, he says there's no evidence to support it. He got shot over touching a child. He laid in the ditch from getting shot in the leg. Callie has actually gotten shot in the leg and laid in the ditch. He actually was on Godby Road. He lived 7 years on that road. Okay? And I'll show you. I'll show you. The guy says that this happened on Godby Road, right? This is a video of Callie on his own platform talking about this. Watch this.
You know, a lot of people ask me, what was it that made me want to be a motivational speaker? What was it that made me want to get out here and help inspire people, right? And my answer to them was, I had to look back through my life. I mean, all the way from a child.
Hang on, maybe it ain't that. Maybe it's another one. Hang on. Yeah.
I spent about 7 years of my life. Old National Highway, Godby Road, College Park, Georgia. Right outside of Atlanta, Georgia.
See that? So it's a fact that he lived on Godby Road. The guy says that he got shot on Godby Road for touching a minor. Callie actually has been shot before. So when he says I tickled a little girl, that's all it is him saying stuff. When I say he got shot for touching a minor, I'm actually repeating his brother-in-law who grew up with him side by side, who knows everything about him, who also brought out where Callie was living at the time, the lady he was taking care of. He came out and said what he was going to say, which validated the brother, because I thought the brother was making this shit up. So it just shows you that he put this 14-year-old girl on me because he actually got shot for touching a girl that was a minor. I don't know how old she was, but here's the reason Callie said that I tickled a 14-year-old little girl. Because in Polite's case, it was a 14-year-old little girl. Callie's actually very fucking dumb. So he can't even come up with his own lies. He has to pick and pull them from different people's lies. That's literally what he does. So Polite's in going through court and is in prison for touching a 14-year-old little girl. So what Callie comes out and does is says that I touched the 14-year-old little girl. Then he lies and says a woman who was already dead before we ever fell out told him that a year after we fell out. Then when I exposed that he was lying, he goes, no, Christine told me. Christine, in fact, has never spoken to no motherfucking Callie. Believe me, I know. And I'm wanting him to just keep saying her name so she can have his head full, because she don't play like that. You understand? And so then he says, well, I ain't gonna say who told me, because he knows he's fucking lying. Do you understand? Now, Neo defends this dude all the time and say, nobody said you was inappropriate with a little girl, but ain't that what Callie just said? So he says, I just like to say things. No, I don't. Your brother said that. So you said, but you're the one who put the accusation on me about the little girl. So if there's an accusation on you, I guess in his mind is some truth to it, right? But he hasn't been around me in many years, but he's out here just telling lies and telling lies. So what is he willing to do to try and hurt my name? Is this who Callie truly is? A liar, deceiver, a manipulator, and a narcissist? Just think about this, guys. And everything he's doing is defamation. I never said he touched a little girl. His brother-in-law did. So he leaves his brother-in-law out of it to say that that's what I say. Ain't that crazy? No proof, he says. Where is his proof that I touched a little girl inappropriately, though? You see?
He just
said stuff. But that's the crazy thing about it. You just said I touched a little girl. That's all it was, is you saying it. That's all. Then if you go, was there a little girl at that house? Was there a young girl that was at that house at the time? If someone says yes, he pretends that validates it. So let's just say Callie has a little girl in his house right now, okay? Let's say I come out and say, he's touching this little girl. He says, no, I'm not. And so I ask Angie, right? Is there a little girl that lives in your house? If she said yes, that somehow proves that Callie did touch a little girl. That's his dumbass thoughts right there. That's his dumbass mind. So let's say I come out and say Callie's touching Angie's children. Okay, I'm just saying it. I don't have any proof of it. I'm just saying it, right? Now, someone asks Angie or someone else, does Angie's children live in that house? Is Callie actually around those children? Yeah, he is. Oh, so they do exist. They do exist. So that's just saying stuff. But when your brother-in-law comes out and says you always been a grimy ass ain't shit nigga, and he also called Callie gay, okay? He also said there was a dude who confirmed that Callie was gay. So this is what someone else is saying, not me. So actually, I don't just say stuff on this dude.
You just said stuff. But this is how low vibrational this guy is.
So again, this is how low vibrational this actual guy is. And again, here's the thing, guys. As long as he's doing this and there are people that hate me, he'll have a few people in his chat. That's fine. That's fine. I'll have to pursue him different ways. Anytime he breaks guidelines, I'll try and get him for that. You understand? But and I'll expose him and his parents. I'll do exactly to him what he does to me. And I want you guys, don't chalk it up to me. It's just me fighting back. If you saw somebody punch me and you see me knock his ass to the moon, don't say I'm a violent person. Nope, I've never hit nobody who wasn't hitting me. Do you understand? And so these people like to bother you and then play the victim. That's what they do. They expect to actually slap you and you do nothing back. They expect to talk about your mama, your sisters, your brothers, and you do nothing back. If you talk about their brothers, their sisters, all of them look like bitches, to be honest with you. I would beat any one of his brothers' ass, any one of them, yo. But if I was to talk about them on a daily basis, he'd be like, why are you talking about my brothers? They did nothing to you. Just like my brother did nothing to you. Just like my sister did nothing to you when you said they slept together. But that's, you call my other sister a bitch. So I think I have a right to call your sister a bitch. Do you see what I'm saying? But if I do that, oh, I'm wrong. But I'm doing exactly to him what he's doing to me. Now, you understand, Callie hates mirrors because the mirrors always show him a demon when really what he's seeing is himself. He was looking at himself in the mirror, but saying he was seeing a demon. Do you understand? So when I become a mirror for him, obviously I'm going to be a demon, right? Because doing back to him what he does to you is somehow wrong. I don't know who raised these niggas and who made these niggas like this, because Amora's the same way. If I go live and talk about her the same derogatory way she talks about me, she'd be saying that I'm wrong, I ain't no leader, I'm a bad person. But she was supposed to be an actual leader, right? A commander, a leader in the military. But how does she behave? So again, they're both the same sandwich. Do you understand? And this is why they won't acknowledge what each other does. See, Amora actually came out here and tried to pin fake abuse on my brother, false pictures and everything. And Callie doesn't say anything about it, even though he says that's why he got shot. If somebody was lying on him saying that he was hitting their mother. So if he fell victim to that and actually got shot over it, could have died. He says it wasn't a little girl that he touched. He says that I got shot because someone lied on me. The girl I was dating, daughter, lied on me and said I was abusing her mom. So her son came and shot me. So he knows the gravity of lies, right? Yet he won't even confront Amora that she lied. So he sits right beside people who do the most horrible things, but for some reason doesn't notice it when they do it. But meanwhile, paints this shit on another person who he knows is not bothering anybody. Do you understand? So it doesn't matter that I show you guys the truth because he has people who's going to listen to them regardless because they like that shit. They think it's funny. Do you understand? But once you realize that what they're doing holds no power, it holds no weight, it's just entertainment. Nobody in their right mind would believe the shit they're saying. Because they just say too much. They put they put a million things on one person. You understand? Which definitely shows that they're full of bullshit. I blog my entire life, and none of the things that they're saying I'm doing is in that content. So where are they getting this information from? Do you understand? It's just as dumb as Amora last night saying, I never left the country before. How the fuck would she know? It's just as dumb as her saying, my children didn't have jobs. All of my children had jobs, okay? I'm talking about literal jobs. Janae worked a job up until the moment we left. So did Justice. And Izzy worked a job for many months and only quit to dedicate his time to his novel that he was writing. Do you understand? So, again, it's just bullshit, guys. Okay? It's just bullshit that they have going on with them. It's nothing serious. It's nothing real. They just have a hate for the people they're blogging on. And obviously, there's an audience for that hate. And that's why now Callie ain't been successful at all, but that's what makes Amora appear successful. I'm telling you now, if all those people in her comments didn't hate me and my brother and want to hear something negative about us, Amora would have no content. And that's why she exploits us. If she stops and talks about some other shit, she'll lose those people. I can guarantee you. All right. But that's just the beginning. I'm going to take my time to expose Amora Davis Johnson, okay, for everything that she does. And I'll do that on a weekly basis. Callie, I'm going to let just kind of burn and die out on his own because he has no power. There's no interest in him. And I'll just beat him to death with my community board. And I'll mock him by every time he go live, I'll clip his ass and clip stupid shit that he say and just put it on my other page because he wants me to respond to him. And I'm not going to. I'm just going to make fun of you because you're easy to make fun of. You're very dumb. You understand? And so that being said, family, I'm going to get on about my day. I promise you guys I wouldn't be long, but I am going to work on making my content truly better and more presentable so you guys can see exactly what she's doing and it can be entertaining for you guys. All right. Until next time, family. Peace.